listen, you may have breast cancer, but breast cancer doesn't have you. And so our goal is to help them regain their power.
She's a nationally recognized breast surgeon, an author, and a praying woman who believes healing is just the beginning. She's Dr. April Spencer.
We check all the boxes, the surgery, the chemo, the radiation, and people are still having anxiety. And I say, you know what? I'm gonna pray with them. We're gonna treat it, we're gonna beat it, and we're gonna move on. And failure is not an option. If you can survive cancer, you can survive anything. I wanted to inspire women to be the surgeons in their life and cut out anything or anyone that wasn't adding value. Survivorship doesn't mean that you're done. It means that you are just getting started.
She's a nationally recognized breast surgeon, an author, and a praying woman who believes healing is just the beginning. She's Dr. April Spencer. Well, Dr. Spencer, it is a long time coming. I'm so happy to meet you today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here for Sisters in Survivorship podcast. We're very excited to learn more about your practice and, of course, a little bit about your background. So let's start with that.
Okay, sounds good. Let me just say thank you for having me. It's a wonderful platform, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now. So This is great. I've been looking forward to it.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about your background and your specialty in breast cancer.
Oh, sure. So my name is Dr. April Spencer. I'm a board certified surgeon. I've been specializing in breast cancer for about 22 years, and I'm in private practice in Atlanta, and I'm also the co-host of Urban MD TV as well. And just really excited to be able to inspire women to treat it, beat it, and move on when they're facing breast cancer. Yeah.
So some people affectionately call you the praying surgeon. Tell me about how you got such an esteemed title.
Well, you know, I sometimes shy away from that title. It's just a part of who I am. I think spirituality and medicine, we just don't talk enough about how important it is to let your patients know that this is not transactional. It's not transactional between myself and the patient that I want to be able to, again, treat it, beat it, move on, and do well. And so I've always prayed with my patients. I have to say, early in my career, it was really seen as unprofessional or inappropriate to insert spirituality in medicine. It's kind of like separation of church and state. Sure. But I realized that something was missing. Like we check all the boxes, right? With the surgery, the chemo, the radiation, and people are still having anxiety. People are still having recurrences. And I have always prayed for my patients. And I say, you know what? I may need to allow them to understand that I'm going to pray with them. And so I would pray with them before we would go back for surgery. Wow. But a lot of times anesthesia gives you amnesia. And so I'm not sure if they remember or not, but they always do. It's very fascinating. So we want all hands and hearts and minds on deck. And a big part of that is praying with the patient so they'll know that we're going to put everything out there so we can treat it, beat it, and move on, even good spiritual energy. So,
right.
Yeah.
And so you've said treat it, beat it, and move on a few times.
Yes.
And I think that's a little teaser to something that you have written, a book. Tell me a little bit about the book, what inspired you, and why you feel like, of course, treat it, beat it, and then move on. Why is the move on component so important?
Yeah. So Treat It, Beat It, Move On is a book that I launched in October of last year, and it was many years in the making. It's one of those things, like many things, you know, you should do, you're supposed to do, you just have to get to it and get it done. And what really inspired the book was my patients. When I entered the surgical space of oncology, I had spoken with your mom earlier, and I couldn't agree with her more. And that is, it was a lot of doom and gloom 20 or more years ago. And I said, we've got to try to insert some hope. We have to try to inspire women to, we're going to treat it, we're going to beat it, and we're going to move on. And failure is not an option. And I think a lot of women needed to be reminded that, you know, people can be cancerous, and toxic family dynamics can be cancerous. Our finances can be cancerous. Our jobs or careers or even academic settings can be cancerous. And I wanted to inspire women to be the surgeons in their life, like the soul surgeons in their life, and cut out anything or anyone that wasn't adding value. And so one of the things that I observed, Caleen, is that a lot of women that were diagnosed with breast cancer already had cancerous things and elements around them prior to diagnosis. So we had to have this conversation.
Interesting.
And in terms of moving on, it's like it's value in the valley, because there's going to be some challenging times. We have to give ourselves grace to feel uncomfortable, to have some fear. But fear and faith can't coexist. But with fear and with that sort of unsettling feeling, that's where faith can be activated. And that's the part of moving on and just becoming a better version of yourself, and not looking at cancer as an obstacle, but an opportunity to go ahead and write that book, an opportunity to get more physically and spiritually and financially in shape, an opportunity to transition out of a marriage or into one, or out of a career, but just to move and not get stuck in that valley, and to use that to propel you to bigger and better things. Because if you can survive cancer, you can survive anything.
Amen on that. Amen on that. And I know that you say what you do is not just about breast health, it's about the best health.
Yeah.
Tell me about that philosophy that you often speak about.
Yeah, because a lot of times when women come to me and we're coming in for breast concerns, and I always lead with, it's not just about your breast health, it's about your best health. How can we, again, be a better version of yourself? So what that best health looks like is, of course, being aware that there are some opportunities to become a better version of yourself. So many things women just haven't had the time to, number one, put themselves first and prioritize their mental health. That's part of your best health. You can't take care of anyone if you are not your mental, physical, spiritual, and financial best self. And so just acknowledging that there's some opportunities there. The other thing is rest is the new health. So getting women to understand the power of not just sleeping, but resting. I mean, how many times have you, or those that are watching, you go down and you fall asleep, you're passed out because you're so exhausted, but you're still tired the next day, as if you haven't slept,
Right.
Because our mind is still going. So it's just like having a bunch of apps open on your phone. You've got to swipe them out. And so a big part of your best health is at night, allowing your brain and your body to reboot and to reconnect and to help boost your immune system, because your immune system is what controls cancer. It's a big part of keeping cancer at bay is just getting rest. So you have to do away with that hustle mentality, or you sleep when you die. That is just an old mindset, and that will get you with cancer and cancer recurrence if you're not careful.
And Black women are known for,
for sure,
giving all to everyone, their children, their mates, their family, parents, jobs, and not enough to themselves first.
Yes.
And so I would imagine that is not good for us.
No, it's not. And again, the best health also is just being more physically active, and also de-stressing and just taking that cape off. You don't have to be all things to all people all the time. You have to be available for yourself. That's best health.
So when someone hears those words, you have breast cancer, and we're seeing more and more young Black women being diagnosed. We're getting the calls. We get over 3,000 calls per year from different women, needing resources or, interested in our support group, et cetera, just the resources and services of Sisters Network. And we're very grateful to be able to receive those calls and to, navigate and help them accordingly. But when you're seeing so many young Black women, particularly coming through, what goes through your mind when they've been told you have breast cancer, when they've come to you at this point?
So what comes to mind when a woman, especially a young Black female, has been told they have breast cancer? I immediately want to shift that train of thought, because as someone think it's so as they are. Our words and our minds have power. Our thoughts have power. And so I always, remind them that, listen, you may have breast cancer, but breast cancer doesn't have you. And so our goal is to help them regain their power and let them know, okay, we are aware of the diagnosis, but how do we move from awareness to action? What are we going to do about it? And so my practice philosophy is led by faith, but rooted in facts. What's your diagnosis? What's the treatment strategy? We're not going to deviate from the plan. And it's almost like trying to fix your own car and looking things up on, YouTube or TikTok. Like, you can get some information, but you got to use the facts to come up with the best treatment plan so that we are not compromising our care. And let me just clarify. So I have a lot of young women will say they're so jaded by the healthcare system. They want to just do it themselves. Like, okay, I'll do the surgery, but I'm not going to do the chemotherapy.
Yes, I've seen a lot of that.
I'll do the chemotherapy. I'm not going to do the radiation. I'm going to do I heard about all this litany of things people have tried, from vitamin C infusions, you name it. I've heard it all. But 100% of those women And the 22 years that I've been doing this, always come back with cancer progression. So I never suggest that patients have to exclude what they're doing, but it's all about inclusivity.
Yeah.
It's about complementary medicine. So we'll do all the things that's helping you feel better with the vitamins and supplements, but as a standalone, our patients and Black women are suffering and their diseases are progressing. And so I really want to encourage women to try to adhere to your treatment plan and understand that your plan and your cancer is just as unique as you as an individual. So make sure that you are complementing your surgery, your chemotherapy, your radiation with the other things that you choose to do. But to choose to do one versus the other can be a death sentence.
And, and unfortunately, Ananda Lewis is an example of that. And she even acknowledged it. And so, appreciate the fact that she did come back and share with the community, hey,
Sure.
I should have done a little bit differently. And again, like you said, the complementary of the two, but definitely not overlooking one over the other.
Yeah. And I was actually invited to kind of unpack that on CNN.
Really?
Her case early on before she passed, to really just talk about the rise in breast cancer among young African-American women, but also the importance of adhering to a treatment plan and talking to your doctor and seeing what's right for you.
And what your options are.
Yes, what your options are. And not allow the fear to paralyze you or allow the fear to make you, cause you to make poor decisions that's going to impact your health later.
Right.
Even if you have to get like a second or third opinion, because a lot of women, especially African-American women, we are not seen. We're not validated in healthcare. So many of us feel like, I could just do this on my own instead of being mistreated. And so don't make that mistake. For the women that are out there watching, if you are not gelling with your team, get a second, get a third opinion. The journey is too important to compromise your mental, your physical, and your spiritual health. Yeah.
From our perspective at Sisters Network, we believe that there's a Black breast cancer crisis when we have this many young women, Black women in general, being diagnosed disproportionately as compared to other ethnic groups, particularly white women, also getting the more aggressive cancer. Would you agree that we do have an actual crisis? Because that's where I come from, crisis management.
Yes,
and, when something is this out of control and for this long, I think we need to ring the alarm.
Yes. Yeah. And I appreciate you guys ringing the alarm. And because we're just not having a lot of conversations about it. Most of the conversations we're having about it, okay, there's a disparity where, African-American women are, we have a higher mortality rate, about 40% higher than our non-white counterparts. And then we're diagnosed stage for stage at a later phase in our diagnosis. So we know that there's something that we need to be having a conversation about. And so what a lot of, there's been just a lot of media suggesting that, there's a lot of socioeconomic as a part of it, and some of it is educational, some of it is financial. But when we correct for finances, we correct for, beyond socioeconomics and education, we are still seeing a higher mortality rate. We're still seeing more advanced cancer. So we know that is much more to that. Right. The other thing is that we are finding that African-American women are getting their mammograms at about the same rate, if not higher, than
I've seen those statistics.
Yes, than our white counterparts. So we are getting screened. We have raised our awareness. We're getting screened. But where there's an opportunity to move the needle is raising our action. Okay. That's the important part. Like things that we can do to help reduce our rate of breast cancer. Okay. So one of the things that's unique to Black women is that we are one of the most educated demographics in the country, I dare say the world, and this is just data proven. And so there's a lot of ambition addiction in a sense that we want to do well, and we are doing well. The numbers show that. But oftentimes in the passionate pursuit of our professions, we are delaying fertility, and that's a risk factor that increases breast cancer. Okay. And a lot of times that's necessary. So I'm not suggesting you have to go out and have children to lower your risk, but that's something we have to have conversations about. Sure. The other thing that that increases our risk for breast cancer is that oftentimes when we're in the throes of the pursuit of our careers, academics, we're not as physically active. And so I want to encourage African-American women, especially women of color, not just African-American women, to try to be more physically active, at least 30 minutes of activity. You don't have to be in a gym just moving. Your body doesn't care. The rate of obesity is rising in African-American women, and it's almost correlating with the rise in breast cancer cases. Really? Obesity is associated with an increased rate of breast cancer. So we've got to have the conversations. We talk about slim thick, especially in the South, but we've got to try to be more diligent in being more physically active and also being more mindful of our mental and our spiritual health, because stress plays a big part in the arising cases of just chronic diseases, especially breast cancer among women of color.
What do you think about genetic testing? I know as a community, we're still embracing it more and more. We're learning more about it, embracing it more. Do you encourage, or what are just your thoughts in general?
I usually just try to follow the guidelines.
Okay.
I always say I'm rooted in faith, but I follow the facts. And so what the guidelines suggest is that in certain groups of women, genetic testing is extremely important, especially if you're diagnosed with breast cancer at a young age. Like if you're diagnosed with breast cancer under the age of, let's say, 45, to pursue genetic testing. Most women that have a new diagnosis of breast cancer, regardless of the age, don't have the breast cancer gene. We usually see that gene in about 5 to 10% of new cancer diagnoses. So it's not right for everyone, but certainly in our younger population where we're seeing this increased risk of breast cancer, be your own advocate, ask for genetic testing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that you created a supplement for breast health. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's all a part of our Just Breast Beyond October line. And so the vitamin, which is a natural addition to that, and it's a vitamin that you take at night, and it's called Just Breast. Has a little bit of melatonin in it because it helps with inflammation, but it's also breast and beauty because it helps support your hair, nails, and skin. Oftentimes that's compromised whether you're in treatment or not, but especially when you're in treatment. The one thing that is unique to the Just Breast that's different from other vitamins is that I include things that you need to have great breast health and great beauty support, but I exclude things that can compromise women that are in treatment, because there are certain things that are in your daily supplement that you can just get off the shelf at the drugstore that will make your treatment regimen less effective. For example, vitamins A, C, and E, which a lot of multivitamins have in them, can make your treatment and your chemo less effective. So it excludes those things. So it's the only supplement on the market that is for all women, but specifically supporting women that have been diagnosed with breast cancer, so they can take it before, during, and after their treatment to support their breast health.
Interesting. So you wear many hats. I mean, of course, we know that you're an esteemed surgeon of 20 plus years, busy mom of 2.
Yes.
Teenagers. I won't call them what you said they are.
They're fun.
They're fun, beautiful son and daughter. But you're also a co-host of Urban MD TV.
Yes.
What is Urban MD TV, and how do you have time for it?
I think time is so important. And for those that are watching, I hope you have an opportunity to tune in to Urban MD TV. The creator and producer is John Mark Sandiford. He's absolutely amazing. And it's the first and only nationally broadcast network that focuses on healthcare issues in communities of color. And one of the things that I love about what John Mark does with this show is that he makes sure he highlights physicians, community advocates, just women and men in the community that look like us, so we can really just, it's like a white coat on, white coat off moment where we are encouraging persons of color to live healthier lives. So we talk about prevention, we do education, we get out in the community and see what people are doing to thrive in the health space. And then we have board certified physicians that have been verified by Urban MD TV team to make sure that we can get that information out in a trusted sort of environment. And so it's been great, and it's available on all social platforms for Urban MD TV. So make sure you follow us on those platforms. You can check out the new season that's coming out soon.
Okay. And you just say Foxhole.
Foxhole, but also on Urban MD TV on Facebook, on Instagram. We have a website, so it's a way that we can just stream that data exclusively through Urban MD TV as well.
That's great. Before we, start wrapping things up, I just want to come back to your book and about the move on part of it. After surgery, after chemo, after ringing the bell, what do you see women struggling with the most as they're trying to move forward?
Yeah. Caleen, what I see women struggling with the most after they've checked all the boxes is they still feel like they're a ticking time bomb. Like, is this going to come back? What can I do? A lot of times they feel like they've been dropped off the cliffs. It's like, what next? And what is next is I want you to start thriving and understanding, again, this diagnosis is not an obstacle, but an opportunity to become a better version of yourself. So it's getting out of their own mental and spiritual way and knowing that, listen, cancer is just like any other obstacle in life. You go around it, you go under it, you get through it, and you use this as a springboard to say, hey, if I can get through that, and if he brought me through that, I know I can get through anything. So it's just giving yourself permission to feel uncomfortable, but really being your own cheerleader and saying, this is beyond October. This is beyond ringing the bell. I am going to be a better version of myself than I was before. So just getting their confidence back, and just the beauty of that is it's just something that I don't want to take away from women, but really inspire them to have hope that they can get through it, but you don't want to get back in that valley. Yeah, just trust him and trust your gut that you can continue to thrive. Yeah.
So what gives you hope?
I would say what gives me hope is just over 2 decades of just seeing all of the amazing stories of women that have used this as an opportunity to help others and not have used this as a way to feel sorry for themselves, but really just be a better version of themselves. So it's the patients that give me hope. Just seeing advocates like you and your mother just reminds me of why we're all doing this. And as you know, you do it year round. I always like to say this is beyond October. We have to achieve it and move on year round. So it's women like you and also my children, because they represent the future. And so you want to make sure that we're doing the right thing so we can be around for them. That's my hope. That's my inspiration and my patients and my advocates. So that is what keeps me going.
Well, Dr. Spencer, you've reminded us that healing doesn't stop at remission. And it's an everyday practice.
It is.
Right? Of prayer, of purpose, of protecting our joy. And I think what you've shared today, some of these gems on moving on and faith and the importance of spirituality as you're navigating such a devastating diagnosis and treatment process, and then transitioning to move on.
Sure.
I thank you so much for sharing and for being here today. And
thanks for having me.
We definitely will make sure that folks know all about your book so that they can purchase it, because we definitely want to make sure that the ladies know about treating it. And I'll let you say it, because you say it best.
Let the ladies, and we can say it together.
Okay,
you ready?
how about that?
Okay, all right. So we are going to treat it, beat it, and move on.
The motivation working in oncology is easy. I think we all have a family member or a friend that's affected by cancer, and you just know the toll that takes on not only that person, but their family.
While I might not today be in one of those situations where I desperately need a medicine for someone I care about, millions of people are all over the world in that exact situation. Like, we are the people who make those things.
No shortcuts, no compromises. We discovering, we identifying, we applying cutting-edge technologies and the methodologies in our daily work.
Whether I can improve with new technology, doing something faster, I'm always trying to get better in every experiment that I'm running.
I think we constantly have to be pushing those boundaries, not just so that we can stay at the forefront as a science and technology company.
Being bold with ideas can really help us make breakthroughs and bring us step closer to discovering effective treatments for patients.